Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. And with the team packs now in the game, something very interesting people noticed in the promotional video was capture the flag. It looks like potentially returning to the game. Maybe it's a limited time mode, maybe it isn't fully capture the flag, maybe it's something else. But some players certainly have said so far this season they would like to see capture the flag back as a competitive mode. Martin thinks it as well. They may have teased it in this video that CTF is indeed returning. I'm intrigued to hear what your thoughts, whether you think it should return, down below, with Control of course being a pretty solid game mode it seems so far in this title, but maybe not exactly perfect by a lot of people's expectations. Thank you also to Draftbuff for sponsoring today's video. Wanted to mention the Draft Royales, of course. In just a few days time the season is officially going to kick off this coming Thursday. The matches begin at the Atlanta home series for the entire season. If you'd like to compete with my team and 1,580 other people currently in this Royale, feel free to do so. The link will be to join down below. Effectively you just choose you choose your 5-man team and another team that you think is going to do particularly well over the season, and they will then get points, and you can swap players out and have to make changes based on how the points standings of these players change over time. This was the team I put together: Sky, Scump, Dashy, ILLey and 4 more. Make sure you don't copy it anyone because it's pretty damn nice. All the relevant links will be of course down below. Let's get into things then. So this is the video that COD League come out with yesterday, ready for the new CDL season. Call of Duty League team packs are now in the game, and as you can see right here, these Royal Ravens guys here on Miami playing what seems to be capture the flag, right? They've got a flag on his back. There was a game mode that came in way back in Black Ops 2. It was like one flag CTF where the flag would be in the middle. You'd have to bring it back to your base, or you'd have to bring it to their base or something like that. There wasn't like a 2 flag situation where you had to go to their base, bring it back to your flag, and that's kind of how it would work in traditional capture the flag. But this is a game mode which has been around Call of Duty for a very long time. Interestingly to me, right, we've had Express very recently into the game. Yes, they did that video, top 10 Express moments of all time. Hope you guys enjoyed that, for those of you who have indeed checked that video out already. But that very first clip was at one of the early events, and Express was actually played as a capture the flag game mode in that game. A lot of people are saying, look, Control, maybe it's not the best mode in 4 versus 4, maybe it is. Personally, I kind of like it. I'm not down to just completely get rid of Control if CDF does drop into the game in a couple of weeks time, because it would completely change up the nature of the title, and I highly doubt that they're going to go down a route like that, given we're already somewhat into the season. The season's just around the corner, but I don't imagine they're going to be swapping game modes by the time the season has already begun. But some pros I think would certainly be down to go down that direction. And also if you look at a map if you look at Control, for example, there's only 3 maps that are played right now. You've got Garrison, you've got Checkmate, you've got Raid of course, and Express might not work for Control, but it might work for something like CTF, right? And then okay, if we got CTF, we got Raid certainly works for CTF, probably the greatest CTF map of all time. Standoff might be coming into the game. There's some questions here about, okay, if these maps actually play well for CTF, because I am somewhat of the belief that if you can have a perfect CTF map that plays really well and it makes sense in terms of the way the spawns work and how you can cut off lanes, I think it probably is the best third mode that we have. For spectators though, maybe Control is better. It's slightly easier to watch, maybe a little bit more fast paced at times, because if the maps aren't perfect for CTF, then you get like an Ardennes Forest situation from Call of Duty World War II where everyone's just camping their base the entire game. We saw it as well in Stronghold on Black Ops 3. So I think Prosper was the first to point this out. CTF question mark. These are a couple of the screenshots right here of this guy. Pretty clear that he's got a flag on his back, so maybe they're adding in it, as I say, as a limited time mode. Maybe it is going to be a permanent game mode that comes to the game. Who really knows at the present time? This is another image right here, which is pretty blurry. I just took it from Twitter, but you can see what I mean. The flag is pretty evident on this guy's back right here. So is CTF going to come to the game? If it does, what do you think they should do about it, right? Is it possible at this time of the season, given the season's just about to begin, they just swap out Control and put CTF in? I don't think that's going to be the case, all things considered, and I'm not really sure the maps would play too well for it. But with some of the classic Black Ops 2 maps, where that game mode was so good coming back, I think you can make a certain argument that, okay, maybe a few months down the line, maybe it should be added into the title. And there were some people suggesting that, like, let's say back in Advanced Warfare or Black Ops 3, we used to play in a 4 game mode situation. It used to go hardpoint map 1, then search and destroy, then it went uplink, then capture the flag, and then a search and destroy again. So we played a 4 game mode rotation. The last couple of years, it's only been a 3 game mode rotation. Personally, I think that's better. I like to see more hardpoint in the series, but at the same time, you could say, all right, well, what if we just add CTF as like map 4 out of a 5 map series? I'm not sure I like it, but I'm sure you guys can make decent arguments in favor of that if you enjoy it in the comment section below. Charlie Intel tweeted out as well, CTF potentially coming, CDL team packs trailer showcases, potentially CTF coming into the game. A lot of people seem to be liking this idea, and as Martin says, if Black Ops Cold War adds capture the flag, it should replace Control immediately. The game mode will be perfect for this game. It's difficult to argue, to be honest, that it will be perfect for this game. I think that CTF definitely requires perfect maps to play well for it, because the spawns are very much important on a game mode like capture the flag. You need a situation situation where the spawns make sense, you can predict them, you can hold one lane to prevent the enemies pushing through it, then you can overextend in the other lane, pull the flag, bring it back one side or another. And we saw last time it was in Call of Duty in World War II, it didn't necessarily play like that, right? Like Flak Tower was very much, okay, you just kind of grab the flag, try and run down the middle if you can. London Docks was effectively the same thing, and typically running down the middle isn't what you do in Capture the Flag. The idea is you overextend on one lane, you go around the left-hand side of the map or the right-hand side of the map, you pull the flag, you come back that direction or whatever direction happens, given the chaos that might go down at their point, and then the other lane on the map, you then hold those two lanes, and then your flag runner runs it back down the other lane. That's how CTF tends to work best in older Call of Duty games. In World War II, it didn't work out like that, it wasn't played like that, and if the maps aren't designed absolutely pitch perfect for CTF to be played, then honestly I don't really think the game mode works too well, and you either get a situation where it's chaos like London Docks or Flak Tower in World War II, or you get Ardennes Forest where it's very boring because the map is so deep at the back, even though it actually played more traditionally like a CTF map would back in the day. But I don't really think people enjoyed watching it, all things considered, and neither did the casters casting it. Control I think is less risky, I think it's more entertaining on the whole, but guys like Doug may want CTF back in the game. ILLey says Control isn't even as bad as people say. I swear when I watch the Challenger Cups, the amateurs do not even know how to play it. So maybe Control is just the better game mode and we need to forget about this whole thing. But so yeah, Doug said to Martin, of course, opinionated as ever. Few things interesting to finish off the video here from JCap. You think this is an intended line of sight? Thought this is pretty remarkable. I mean, I saw people do this the other day, but as you can see, I think it's John actually streaming right here for, yeah, Movember. He's been doing some things for them. And as JCap says, you think this intended line of sight? I mean, back in the day, Claystar in Black Ops 3, he had the whole intended line of sight video that he did. And you can get all the way up here. If you go to someone and you punch them, it kind of does the thing where you'll fly towards them because it will try and attract your punch to them on this rock right here. But obviously you won't be able to do so, and you can fly across the map. And actually, I didn't even realize this. In multiplayer, you can actually just enable your parachute if you want to, like you would be able to do in Warzone, but it's very rarely actually going to be viable. But as you can see right here, it does help you get up to this kind of ridiculous spot here on Crossroads Strike. So it doesn't really seem like, well, it seems perfectly fine you can get up here, right? In theory, it's a bit difficult to do so in Search and Destroy or something. You'd probably get spotted trying to do this, but if you did get up here, then I don't know, maybe you could have a good sniper angles or something from this. I'm intrigued to see if you guys have any good results with it in the comment section below in a few videos time or something. Neptune actually fired back at Crimsix, which is pretty interesting because, well, a few days ago, of course, we've had the whole Crimsix versus Neptune drama, you know, accusing Neptune of using this auto sprint situation. But as you can see right here, Neptune pops a nice little ace in this express search and destroy, kind of like John's ace actually we looked at in that video yesterday. And no, it's pretty funny as after he gets this ace right here on he's on a 7 streak, pretty incredible stuff, he actually brings up his settings and goes and shows that he's actually not using auto sprint, shows that auto sprint is indeed disabled, as you can see right here. So pretty cool stuff. Doesn't necessarily mean he wasn't using it the other day, of course, but yeah, nice to see Neptune firing back and keeping that rivalry hot and ready to go for the upcoming season whenever Dallas versus the Florida Mutineers happens. It won't be happening in their group, of course, because they are in separate groups, but maybe at the major for Stage 1, that will indeed happen. Speaking of the major for Stage 1, Dylan Envoy on the OpTic Chicago thought this was a remarkable statistic over the course of his career. Averages a 1.19 S&D KD in his pro career over 17 events. He had the number 1 S&D KD in 2020 at a 1.28. That was pretty incredible. And to get over his career at 1.19, I mean, this is pretty incredible stuff. You look at a team like OpTic Chicago, their downfall, or at least like the OpTic teams in general over the last few seasons, their downfall has tended to be their search and destroy at times, compared to a Dallas, compared to a FaZe. They don't necessarily have quite what it takes in the search and destroy on occasion, at least in the last few titles. But now in a 4 versus 4 situation, Envoy, Dashy now back in the team, great search and destroy player, could have more of an impact on how their search and destroy does. And they'll certainly need to be good at search and destroy, because these series this season, I imagine, against Dallas, against FaZe, are going to go to a lot of game 5s. Search and destroy clutch factor is going to make the difference. And yeah, well, maybe Envoy will be a key piece to the puzzle right there, because yeah, search and destroy, pretty remarkable to be so good in search, given that he doesn't necessarily have the craziest search and destroy reputation. Maybe definitely has a great reputation in search, don't get me wrong, but you know, you look at Simp, you look at some of the guys on FaZe, some of the guys on the Dallas Empire, they maybe have a better reputation, even though Envoy in the last couple of seasons has been the one putting up numbers. As Scump says, only 1 week away now from our first TDL match of the season, even less than that as this video is going live. They're playing on Friday, February the 12th. The first matches kick off this coming Thursday, February the 11th, if you guys weren't exactly aware. And just this weekend, or in the next couple of days, Cronut CDL Intel says this season's pre-season power rankings should be out this weekend. It's effectively an average. He, well, talks to all the pros that he can get in contact with, all the coaches, all the analysts, and gets their perspective, averages it all out, and we see what we see. Last season, Atlanta FaZe was number 1, then Dallas Empire, then Chicago Huntsman pre-season. season. But yeah, it seemed to be Huntsman and Atlanta FaZe that are actually the dominant teams when LAN did finally begin. This season it's going to be online, so maybe, well, maybe the rankings will be slightly more accurate before the season begins. We'll talk about that in the coming days, I'm sure. Enjoy to hear your thoughts in the comment section. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm to know you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always. Take care. Thank you to Draftbuff. Join the link down below, and I will see you next time.